Yeah, you said earlier this week that this was your Super Bowl.
Yep.
To be able to come here and finish like you did, how important was that for the team, especially around the national noise kind of after the first 2 games, you guys not playing to that standard?
Yeah, it was huge. The first 2 games, obviously, we didn't play to our standard. Whether it's, getting our feet wet, new team, whatever you want to call it. But, I told the guys I'm a firm believer in the rule of threes in this 3rd game. This is the game where we're going to take off. And then everyone, bought into that and, showed out on the field today.
All right, Alec.
What changed in the second half? They were able to run a little bit and sustain some drives, but you guys held them to, I think, 91 total yards in the second half. What was the difference?
Yeah, we just came in at half, made a couple of adjustments when it came to coverage, just getting our eyes into the screen game a little bit so we can stop those screens, and then made a couple of adjustments with the run game. But it was honestly just a mindset, that mindset in the second half, knew we had to finish, and we did.
Front left, right?
What motivates you personally about a game like this? It seems like you kind of had it turned up a notch for this one.
Yeah, I grew up, I think I missed 3 Civil War games since I was 5 years old. So just being a part of the rivalry, knowing how their fans act when they win, and, having family on both sides of the rivalry, just the feeling and the rights to knowing that you got this game for the entire year is what motivated me for this one.
Second row left on Rob Mosley.
So how did you manage emotions in a situation like this? You could maybe try to do too much, things like that. How would you describe the way you were able to kind of bottle and channel it all correctly and have a performance like that?
Yeah, I just football's a little bit different. You can definitely be more outward with your emotions, especially on the defensive side of the ball. So that's what definitely fuels me. But at the end of the day, I've had a good amount of experience over the years, knowing how to handle big games like this and those emotions. So I just try to channel it into my teammates and make sure they feel my presence and make sure they're juiced. And at the end of the day, obviously channel my energy into the ball carrier. So
Back middle, Brady.
Coach said that he wishes that he had 22 Bryce Boettchers. Where does that confidence and that love come from? And how does that feel you?
Yeah, obviously it feels great that coach recognizes, my hard work and who I am as a person to, lead off on the rest of the team. Yeah, it's a great compliment to have, but I see it as something I have to earn every day. It's not something that's he just says that because he likes me. He says it because we have mutual respect for one another. He gets on my ass when he needs to get on my ass. So that's what I respect him for, and our relationship has definitely grown over the years. So I respect you a lot.
Back right, Matt.
Dan said practice this week was different, and he says the way you practice is the way you play. What was different this week about practice than the previous 2?
Yeah, I think everyone just got through their minds that it's a rivalry week. Obviously, when it comes down to the game and the practice, you got to play yourself. Like Oregon's playing Oregon, but there is that extra edge, which I told the guys. It's like, yeah, you got to do your assignment and know what you got to do for the team. But at the end of the day, like you got to bring extra juice for this game because that's what Oregon State's bringing. They know that they got to bring that extra chip on their shoulder, and they have it because they're Oregon State. And throughout the rivalry's years, I feel like Oregon's dominated it, so they know they got to bring it. And if we don't, we'll get caught in the mouth, and if we're sleepwalking into it. So I think the guys, knew that we were getting everyone else's best shot throughout the past couple of weeks, and that Oregon State's going to give us their best shot. So that's what changed in practice.
Back right. Middle, sorry, Brett.
That's okay. Bryce, you guys had another 7 passes broken up in this one. You guys are one of the leading teams when it comes to passes defended this season. Where does that kind of success come from, and how much pride do you take in being able, maybe not making the big plays interception, but knocking the ball down and still making the big play when it's needed?
Yeah, it's one of the pillars of our defense is ball excellence. Like the ball is everything, whether it's, punching the ball out to, cause a turnover, interception, or, pass breakup. That's one of the pillars of our defense, and our coaches preach it every day before practice. It starts in practice. We'll practice, hook and punch, stripping the ball from the ball carrier and everything related to the ball on defense. And that's where good things happen. So I just praise our coaches for that. I think they've done a good job coaching it.
Back left, Aaron.
First 2 games, a lot of highlights, a lot of lowlights. Why was it so important, especially heading into Big Ten play, that you guys kind of played a complete game? And when the offense is doing well or special teams is doing well, how does that help take the pressure off of you?
Yeah, it's huge. Anytime you can get a game like this going into Big Ten play, it's definitely huge. And I believed it. The guys believed it, and it happened. When it comes to pressure, I don't really feel any pressure when it comes to it. I feel like it's just a blessed opportunity to be put in a situation, and I feel like pressure would be having to provide for kids or the family in that regard. I'm just living my dream.
Got time for a couple more. Front left, James.
How different is the feeling, Bryce, walking on this field
half-empty stadium to choose compared to 2 years ago on a mob field and going down the fence all the way to Gill and getting heckled all the way through and all that? Just how different feeling is this?
Drastic. Yeah, I can't, put into words obviously how different it is, but it's a way better feeling. I'll tell you that much. Come off the field, letting my teammates know how well they played, and it feels great to own the state for one more year.
2 more, Chris?
I feel like you might have had a chance on that first play of the game to start off with a pick, or maybe even better. This big win, is that going to be something you think about a little bit?
Yep, I'll definitely think about it. I'll watch it on film and flush it down the toilet and then on to the next day. But yeah, that was a stop for sure.
Last question on Phil on the left.
Bryce, when things seemed so hard for the first 2 games, just for the team in general, is there a sense where you almost need a game like this, you need to see it to really feel what you guys are capable of? And does it feel good to have? I mean, obviously it feels good, but how does it feel to have kind of that out of the way where you have a game like this?
Yeah, it feels great. Honestly, I didn't really need to see it to believe it. I've seen it in practice and I've seen it in camp, and I've realized how special this team is. Whether other guys need to see it to believe it, maybe that's something they could answer. But I believed all the way that this was the game we were going to do it in, and I think everything happens for a reason, and I'm glad it happened this way because it made us realize that everyone's going to give us their best shot. And I think guys really started to realize that, and here we go.